and welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. This was requested by a few of you why I had my breast implants removed. I had them taken out this April and I'd had them for 14 years. So that's a long time. And I'm going to try and go through all the things like what type they were, the story, Okay, so I had mine done when I was 26 years old, right? 2008. And that was kind of the era of, you know, the fake boobs. You had Nuts magazine, you had Girls of the Playboy Mansion. It was like it was the thing. I had a very good surgeon, Dr. Singh. He did Katie Price's, he did all the celebrities. He was brilliant, a lovely, lovely man. Because I never really had any boobs, and it was the one thing that I just wanted, and I thought about it for a long time. I went to several surgeons for consultations. Some of them said no, there's not even any like space to put an implant in, it's not going to really work. Some were like, we need to put big ones in, some with this, some with that. You have to go and see lots of surgeons, right? When I saw Dr. Singh, he was like, right, you don't want to look like a cartoon character because you're a small frame. He said, you're just going to look like you've grown, that's it. And that I was like, that's brilliant. He says they're the best in the market, cohesive gel. They last for 25 years. The only time you'd need to change them is to late weight gain or weight loss. But actually, that's the thing with implants. You know, I want to tell like younger people, like, they don't last forever, and you do have to replace them every 10 years. They don't have a lifetime guarantee. And you've got to ask yourself the question, do you want to keep replacing these things every 10 years? Okay. So I saw him, I booked in, then I paid £1,000 deposit, then I cancelled. And I think I was watching Hollyoaks, and I can't remember her name. She was one of the McQueens, and she just got her boobs done on the show and in real life. And for some reason, that swayed me. So I booked in and I had them done, and there was like 5 of us in the waiting area. We're all getting ours done, and I was the last one. I got them done. I had 2 different sizes. I had 2 50cc and I think 2 30cc, because I had different sizes, and they were the cohesive gel implants. So they were the ones that are less likely to rupture. But what I didn't know until 14 years later was that these were the recalled PIP implants. I did not know that. So, fast forward 4 years after implants. I loved them, I enjoyed them, I felt confident, I loved that I could wear bras, and I really liked them. Bear in mind also, I was very, very skinny. So this just gave me, it just looked nice. And I do think, that does look nice if you're very, very skinny. But what happens is, with these younger girls, they'll put them in and suddenly it makes you look bigger, older, frumpier. But you won't realise that till later on. Anyway, 4 years down the line, I get a letter saying that your implants are PIP implants, or could be PIP implants, and they're being recalled, and you'll need to exchange them for allergen. Now, if you don't know what the PIP implants, the guy who invented it decided to cut corners. He was French, and instead of using cohesive gel, he used mattress filler. And what was happening was people's implants were rupturing, like all over the shop, because obviously it wasn't medical grade stuff. Now, when I read this letter, I remember reading this letter and I thought, no, not my doctor, not my surgeon. He's a top surgeon. He'd never use that. So I ignored it. I thought, nah. And majority of people had theirs replaced with allergen. When they had theirs replaced with allergen, they had mega problems. Because there's a breast implant illness Facebook page. And if you read on there, a lot of people started to have issues when they had them replaced. Now, I didn't have any issues. Only a couple of years ago did I start to get twinges, little tight twinges, bit of uncomfortableness. You know, I'd gone and seen some more surgeons to have a look at them to see if they were okay. But I wasn't feeling brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I remember going through a Instagram post of this Swedish fitness woman, and she put before and after pictures of when she had the implants and when she didn't, and I'm talking of her face. And when I looked at her face, I was like, oh my God, that's my face. Like, it was really puffy. And I'd always wondered why my face looked like that. And I thought, oh, maybe I've eaten too much salt or something. And it was the face thing that bothered me the most. Anyway, I put it out of my mind. I didn't think too much about it. Then I started to gain weight. And I was exercising a lot, but I wasn't losing any weight. Now, I was always skinny. And I put it down to, but when you turn 30, you put on weight. But I really was putting on weight, and I just couldn't shift it. And I thought, maybe it's the pill, you know, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I was getting anxiety. I was reading up all these symptoms on that breast implant illness thing. And a lot of it was digestive issues. And Bertie, there's like digestive issues, anxiety, like hair loss, all sorts of things that you could put it down to. Anyway, I wanted to get my notes because I didn't know what implants I had, right? So by the time I'd called the hospital, which was a few years back, Dr. Singh was retired, and my medical notes were like, they're like completely like in a vault somewhere. So I had to request these medical notes, which you can do if you after your medical notes, they will be in an archive somewhere and they will send it to you. Anyway, because I wanted to have the details of what the implants were, got the medical notes and saw that they were indeed PIP, which freaked me out because I thought, oh my God, I've had these for now 13 years and they're PIP, and what if it's the mattress filler? And, you know, and they're going to explode any second. So I booked an ultrasound to see if there's any ruptures. No ruptures, fine, right. I had to make a decision. I had to either have them replaced or removed, because after 14 years, you've got to change them, because you need to make that decision. Now, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I didn't know whether I wanted to take them out or replace them. And you know me with decisions, I was back and forth for 2-3 years. I saw several surgeons about having them replaced. Didn't like them, wasn't sure. I saw Dr. Malucci, he's one of the top breast surgeons in London. I wasn't sure. I saw Dr. Fratti, did not like him at all. And I just didn't know what to do. Then I thought to myself, I don't even want to go up to London for any type of surgery. There's got to be somebody here where I live. So I search online and I find that there's a breast surgeon literally here in a hospital 10 minutes away. And I thought, perfect. So it's a Spire hospital. I booked in a consultation with him, I think just after lockdown, yeah. And I said, what do you think I should do? Should I take them out? Should I leave them in? Should I replace them? He said, if I were you, I would take them out. He said, it's not like you're going to need a lift and have left with sagging boobs. You're actually in a position where you can just take them out. He said, if you wanted to replace them, I would have to use a bigger implant. And I thought, oh no. He said, what you can do is take them out, leave it for a year and see how you feel, and then replace them if you want. I thought, okay, right. He goes, but at the moment, they look fine to me. And he said, the first batch of the PIP were good implants. He says, I think if you give me the serial number or whatever it was, I can find out what batch yours were. And mine were the good batch. Lucky me, I didn't have the mattress filler ones. Mine were the beginning batch. So I went away again. I went away for another year or two thinking, oh, I don't know, what shall I do? What shall I do? I was asking lots of people on YouTube. Brianna Stanko had hers replaced. I would ask, what's that other one? Oh, I'd ask everybody who had implants, are you going to replace yours? Or are you going to remove yours? And they all said, well, I'd probably replace them. I'd probably replace them. They all had theirs for 14 years as well. Yeah, I'd probably replace them. And I was like, oh, so they're not worried about breast implant illness and this, that, and the other. I felt like I couldn't move fast enough. It was in my way, uncomfortable. I felt fat, I felt frumpy, I felt matronly, I felt 10 times the size that I already am. Then I was watching Love Island, and this year, no, when was it this year? Last year. Anyway, a lot of the girls had like completely flat chests. And I felt myself like, oh, envying them. Oh my God, they're so lucky they haven't got implants. They're so lucky they've just got lovely, you know, small boobs. And they just looked lovely. And I just thought, oh. Even when I went on holiday in November, I just felt like a sausage. I felt squashed in my bikini. I felt embarrassed. You know, I just didn't like the way I looked. I found another surgeon in London, Dr. Cardis. He's a very, very good breast surgeon. And I was going to book in with him again because I thought maybe I'll have them replaced. Back and forth, back and forth. And then when I was in Venice, I was looking at myself in the mirror and I thought, oh my God, this is awful. I can't bear it. And there's a stylist I follow on Instagram. She's called Cleo Lacey. And if you follow her on Instagram, she's a personal stylist. She had the biggest implants ever, right? Massive. And one day I'm scrolling through Instagram in Venice and I see she's had hers removed. And I was like, what? Because she was having a lot of health issues, constantly in and out of the doctors. She had the same surgeon I had, Dr. Singh, to put them in. And I was watching her recovery, and I sat there thinking, oh, I wish I was on the sofa recovering from having them taken out. Do you know what I mean? I thought if she can remove that size of implant and be okay with it, then I'm sure I can. She had a fat transfer, which also my surgeon suggested. He was like, we can do a fat transfer. I was like, no. Because I remember watching Coffee Break with Danny when she had hers taken out and she had a fat transfer and they took it from her back and all over the shop, and she said that was the most painful thing ever and it was excruciating, and I thought, no thanks. So when I saw that, I immediately, the second I got home, booked in to see Dr. Nanides Inspire. I said, I want them out. He said, right, okay. This was on a Wednesday. He said, no, this was on a Friday, right? He said, I can book you in for surgery next week Friday. I was like, right, okay, booked in. I was in the Friday, out the Saturday, done. That was it, out. And it's probably one of the best things I've done. I can't explain to you, well, I can explain to you how much better I feel in myself, because I felt like just, you know, trapped in my own body. It was just a hindrance, and I knew it was causing me issues. And I'll show you my face before and after, like the big difference before surgery and after. So that's the morning of my surgery and after. The difference in the way that I looked and felt was phenomenal. The whole procedure was so easy, such a breeze. I stayed overnight because I was one of the last of his patients. He had about 10 patients, and I think he just bobbed me on the end that day. So I was waiting for ages. I was scheduled to have it done at like 1 o'clock. So I was nil by mouth. I had my breakfast at 5 a.m. I don't think I got into surgery till 6. I was absolutely like, that anaesthetic knocked me out like this. Came around, you know, I was really nauseous from the morphine. So I was very like gagging a lot. So they kept me overnight, which I'm actually really glad they did, because the hospital is like in the middle of nowhere. Like you go all down these windy country roads and it's like a country estate in the middle of nowhere. Really, the thought of, you know, at 9 o'clock bumping up and down back home, having, you know, so I stayed there and I loved it. I had out my window, I had the window cracked so I could have air, and I have a field just outside, and I just hear the crows, and it was a bit weird because there's a lot of crows there, so it's a bit like a gothic hospital, which I really like. But all the nurses and the people there were incredible, amazing. They looked after me so wonderfully well. And the recovery, easy breezy lemon squeezy, no pain. No pain whatsoever. I tell you what's the discomfort is the medication. It makes you feel sick. Makes you feel sick all day. And you have to take this medicine, these painkillers, like 6 times a day. It just makes you feel awful. So that's the only thing. Otherwise there was no pain at all. Changing the tapes, they put like a tape. You get dissolvable stitches, easy peasy. Healing was fine. I went back a week after, and he was like, listen, it's fine. He said, stop dressing like a patient. Oh, God knows how I came in. He said, stop looking like a patient. Get yourself some nice snazzy sports bras. Get it together. Have a glass of wine. That's what he's like. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, relax. Just carry on. Just go as normal. And I was like, right. Oh, the other thing is the compression socks. I hate them. And they always say to you, you've got to wear them for 2 weeks. You don't have to wear them for 2 weeks. I had mine for 3 days. As long as you're moving around, getting up each day and moving around, you don't need to wear them for 2 weeks, depending on what your surgery is. For my surgery, he was like, I'd come in with my compression socks. He's like, after a week of wearing them, he's like, get the compression socks off. Stop wearing the medical bra. Stop looking like a patient. Come on. You know, and I was like, oh, okay. Brilliant. Are you happy with them? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I am. I feel so much better myself. I just feel happy that they're out, basically. And I see now these young girls, again, 26, 27, 28, having them done. And I saw this one on Instagram and she's like, oh, I want to feel womanly. I've never felt womanly. And I'm thinking, you've got your entire life to feel womanly. You're only 26 once. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, you're going to end up at 30 wanting to take them out because you're going to put on weight, because that's what happens. And then you're just going to look so big. And I remember this other girl that had them done. You remember that Australian one? Oh, what was her name? She always sat like this talking to the camera. And there's a whole debacle about her little dog. Do you remember? Anyway, I remember her wanting to get them done, and I wanted to say to her, listen, you're gonna regret it. You look so athletic and fit. Don't do it. She went to Dr. Fratty, big complications, had to take them out. When Cleo Lacey had hers out, she looked 10 years younger. She looked slim, she looked fit, athletic, healthy, bright. They look so aging, like it's so like old news. Do you know what I mean? It's not an attractive thing to have these fake boulders anymore. It looks aged. It doesn't look nice. Like your natural body looks so much better. And of course, when you're that age, all you want is big boobs. But when you get older, you're just like, I wasn't even wearing bras. And also, I wasn't ever one to show my cleavage. I was always, it just wasn't a thing. So it was pointless having them. And before, I wanted it because I was skinny and, but the minute you put on weight, I just looked like a big potato, basically. And I didn't like it anymore. And I just knew. And everyone was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to take them out? Are you're going to have like nothing there. And I was like, that's fine. I'm fine with that, So I'm really pleased with my decision. And if you're thinking about it, I would go and have a consultation and have a look, because you might need to have a lift, you might need to have fat transfer, or, you know, but bear in mind that how they look after surgery is not how they're going to look forever. They will sort of settle and get back to, you know, they'll, you know, get back to their sort of old shape. In fact, they're better than they were, because I still have something, but they're very tight. They're very sort of soft and small, which I like, rather than having these big hard things that were always in the way. I could never sleep on my chest, which now I can. I'd get these horrible like burning tinges going through. Yeah. So if you were on the fence thinking, I don't know whether to have them or not, I would just have them out, because your health is so much more important. Do you know what I mean? So have a look at that Facebook group and just see, because everyone shares their stories, which is really nice, and you can kind of go, oh yeah, that's that, I've got that symptom, I've got that. Everyone's eyes or face look a certain way, and you're like, and then they have them out and they look so much better. Everyone looks so much better who's had them taken out, basically. So yes, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was informative. If you've got any questions, leave them below and I will answer them for you. If I've left anything out, or if I've not been clear about something, or anything more that you want to know, then please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.